Okay guys, welcome back. Today is January 7th and here I am making a tillage video. So in all of my years of farming, this is probably the second time that I have done tillage in January. So why are we doing tillage in this field? Why are we disking? So this is one of the fields that had drift injury. This field has been decertified for 3 years, and so part of how I'm going to have to deal with that, in order to avoid planting the same crop, I do have land that is certified organic yet. I am going to use this field this year for oats. I will plant oats here, and so I can avoid a bunch of the protocol that's involved in what you call parallel production. That's planting the same crop on certified ground and conventional ground. And so I want to avoid parallel production, and so I am going to use this bottom for oats this year. After the oats come out, I will put up some kind of cover crop in it. But I will use it to produce cow feed instead of a cash organic grain. That will make my record keeping a lot easier. I do have organic oat seed available, and so for the next 3 years, I have to farm this ground using organic management methods during the transition years, so that 3 years from last June, I think the date that is going to be used is the June 26th application date, when the KDA verified that the neighbor applied the dicamba. So 3 years from that date is when this will be certifiable again. And in that intervening time, I want to avoid planting crops that trigger me having to have, all kinds of clean out and management protocols. I need to grow different crops in this field, but I still need to get a return out of it. So where that gets us today is November here was a dry month. We've had a couple little skiffs of snow, but not much. The other day we had a little over an inch of rain, but the ground was dry, so the ground took it all in. You can look at my tire there. It is a little bit moist yet, but they're talking a decent chance of rain this weekend, and so I want to get this field worked up so that if I had to no-till oats in it, anytime from the first week of February on, you can sow oats. And so I need this ground black and bare so that it can dry out. If we do go into a wet cycle, I need to be able to no-till oats on it, like I did last year on my primary oat field. There was literally one day when I could plant those oats, and I was drilling with this tractor with the front wheel assist running to plant the oats. So anyway, we're out here, it's January, it's barely dry enough. There's frost in the ground, but it's not too bad. The neighbors are running dozers, and so the frost is not too bad, and I am out here disking this field. So let me show you what I'm doing here a little bit. It is a hair sticky, and so I am running with the front wheel assist engaged, and we're not trying to go too deep, and we don't have to go crazy fast, but we do need to smooth off this field and incorporate some of that residue and make a seed bed for oats. If it stays dry, I will probably come out here and field cultivate it one more time, just so I have a perfectly smooth seed bed before I sow my oats. But if it's moist and the opportunity presents itself after I do a tillage pass like this, I am not afraid at all of just coming out and no-tilling oats. Looking down at the ground there, you can see that there's very few cool season weeds, and so there's very little weed pressure in this field, and it's perfectly reasonable to assume that you would come back out here and no-till the oats in it a month from now. So Funny weather, guys. Working ground in January, that's not very common, but that's what we're doing today to deal with this situation. Thanks, guys.